Go further around the corner, okay? Do more. Emma, hold it in your hand and blow like this.
Nie mogę, bo tu są... Bo już nie mam.
The bag is filled with seeds, Emma. Turn the bag inside out.
Tak?
Turn it up.
Może tak będzie.
Yeah, but turn the bag inside out and do that. Emma. Well, that's a big help when you... Here. Okay, I'm going to plant these. These are Jerusalem artichokes, and I bought them at a shop here. They're called topinambur here in Europe, and I'm going to plant them up here. Apparently they're an invasive species in some ways, so they should be hard to kill off, and that's kind of what I want in this area. So, and there's my little girl, and there's the pumpkins we started growing. See the pumpkins? They're not exactly the pumpkins we started growing, but she gets the point. Anyway, we're going to plant for about 10 or 15 minutes and go back to town. Get them farther over there. There you go. Okay, try to throw them on that side. There you go. Okay. Ready to go? It's the 1st of June. I've been digging for the last 2 hours. It's 8 o'clock right now in the morning. And I've moved. What I had done the other day was from about right there down like that. So today I've made it all the way to here and dug out all of this. Just a few days ago I had only from there to there covered. Now I've got from there to here. Here I was having problems with the tree roots, so I had to kind of dig around that. I'm finding it a lot more difficult to dig on the inside of this mound than I was on the outside. It's something about being on the inside of a tight corner that it's harder for me to line up to stack the sod or something, and plus this sod is crumbling into pieces. Even though it's very, very muddy. The first couple inches of this are muck still from the flood and from the recent rains, and it's really causing problems because it's kind of greasy. But then underneath it doesn't hold together, it just kind of crumbles apart. So it's been kind of hard to get it to stack, but with a lot of work and effort I've moved the top of the hill from there to there. And if you look closely here, you can see I've just broadcast beans and all kinds of seeds all over this thing. And what I'm going to do next here is I'm going to try to clean up this mess that I have down here, throw it up on top of the mound, cover up those beans, cover up those seeds, and maybe I'll rake them in a tiny bit first before I do, to spread out some of those sunflower seeds and stuff. My sweet potatoes are doing really well. Only one tiny leaf has been munched by any sort of slug or snail. This one's long since dead, so he's not a problem. I'm considering how I'm going to do this back wall with this little mound here. This is not a mound of any sort, it's just the excess dirt that I didn't put up over here. And I did plant things in it just because it was there. But I'm thinking I might have to carefully uproot whatever's growing and just set it right on top of this right there. I might do that later today, because I'm going to need all of this dirt here all the way around, I guess from this line here, even from the edge of this, all the way around. As you can see, it's going to take all of that dirt there and all that dirt right to the edge of this little central garden to cover up those logs in the back. So I'm gonna have I'm gonna have to liquidate this. That's why I pulled out the stakes. They were sprouting. There are a couple plum trees back there that I'm going to cut a couple branches off and stick them in the mud and see if they sprout as an experiment. This is the view from where I was standing, as close as I could get from the flood. And right now I'm standing underneath a plum tree. So I noticed this was a plum. And although there are plums growing here already, I would like to take one of these branches, one of the shoots that goes up, a straighter one, and try to transplant it over into the mound by just sticking it in the ground and see if I can do it just as I did with those willow trees. Of course, willow trees grow almost anywhere, and that's why they are so common. But this plum is growing here, so maybe it got transplanted in the same way during a flood or something. So it's my hopes that possibly I can stick a stick in the ground, and I'll use my IKEA saw here, this tiny little saw I've got. I'll cut a branch off this tree and stick it in the mud. We'll see what happens as an experiment. I might even do two. So that's what I'm doing over here. Okay, so there's my plum stick, the first one. And I've done kind of like they do with air layering. And I've cut a strip of the bark off and kind of roughed it up a bit. And my intention is to stick it down in the ground at least 2 feet, about at least where my hand is, maybe even more, and see if this sucker will sprout by itself. So there it is, stuck in the ground, and I put it down about 2.5 feet actually. Anyway, I'm going to do the same thing here with this smaller stick and put it in a different place a few feet away. Maybe. Here's the second one I did. It was a lot shorter anyway, but it's sticking up about 1.5 feet out of the ground now. This one's about almost 3 feet. I might stick it down another 6 inches or so. And we'll see if either of them sprout. And the only reason I'm doing this is out of curiosity because of sticking the willow branches in there. They sprouted really quickly. I know that's the nature of willow, but perhaps these greener branches of the plum tree will do the same thing. I just did a walk around here, and this is the 40th pumpkin I have growing on the outside of this place. So I'm very pleased with that because I lost I don't know how many pumpkins that I had to replant, and I'm actually growing pumpkins naturally in the ground. So I will probably never ever start pumpkins at home again. Just plant them in the ground, let them grow where they want to grow naturally. Otherwise they're gonna die and be weak. They're stronger when they grow naturally in the ground where you put them. So I also picked up 3 slugs, big slugs. I got rid of a bunch of little squishy white ones that I didn't like and smashed those. And I'm gonna do the honorable thing and let these guys go because I don't want to have to kill them, the poor little buggers. So I'm gonna do it the right way. I'm going to go use the same thing that brought me the devastation, the big flood, and I'm going to let these guys go. You can see there, those dirt marks on the trees, that's as high as the water level was, so that's as high as my head right now. This church is ringing its bells, so it gave me an idea for these slugs. Take the slugs to church. This grass is really high, it's over my head. Wow, I better not walk too fast or I'll fall in a beaver hole. Okay, wow. This, my friends, is the river that brought me the flood, and I promised I would let these slugs go. Well, they're free now. So I took pictures and video of the Hugelkultur mound from this exact spot about 3 weeks ago, and to be honest, besides my little stake sticking up, if you were walking along here and didn't look over there, you would not notice a thing. So once the plants are growing, it'll be different. You won't notice the hill or the wood so much, but you're going to notice sunflowers, sunchokes, and climbing beans going up those poles and stuff. So maybe people won't even notice it because this place is so overgrown with weeds. I mean, literally, looking at me, this is as high as everything is. I've got grass up over my shoulder here, so above my head even. So people will not find this place very easily. That's why it's a secret garden. I also wanted to show you the place that I've been clearing of stinging nettles and grass and goosegrass. This was solid stinging nettles back here, and all of this went to that inside corner there on the inside, and you can see the rest of it that's not covered up and exposed that I did this morning. So that's all from right here on the inside, going all the way around. So eventually I'll probably work my way back around to those trees and make a kind of circle around this tree. This is where those minnows were jumping. So I'll probably clear out all this lowland nettles eventually. And I've been cutting it, not pulling the roots out, because I want it to grow back next year.